Gutenberg sounds German, right? I realize I don't talk loud enough on these fucking things. Leave me alone. I can't get comfortable. Is this a metaphor for life? So, um, hello. Time to journal again. So, it's raining for the foreseeable future, which I hate. I want to leave. Um, but maybe it's a good thing. I don't feel like I don't feel like doing anything social because I was really social last week. So now I want to stay indoors. But then as soon as I'm indoors for an hour, anything I can do in here, I don't want to do. I'm gonna watch a movie. I bought a movie. I don't know what it's called. Fucking Keanu Reeves, Aziz Ansari, and Seth Rogen. And I've tried to watch it all week. I can't get through it. And with the exception of Seth Rogen, I like these guys. I can't do it. I don't feel like it. So, anyways, I bought a couple books. Haven't read those. So here I am journaling. So last week was a big, I feel physically exhausted. You know what? Not physically, spiritually. I feel tired of the same shit over and over again. I'm bored. Okay, so last week I was in Vegas the whole week for a conference. And I thought basically that I haven't been since pre COVID, and that now that I'm showing face for my business, I should keep doing it because I won't always feel like doing that. So it was the most fruitful of any convention I've ever been to. Right away, like just things fell into place just for me being present. So, like putting energy into my business, into just being present, and then just me showing up is enough for God to bless me. So, um, I strengthened relationships with current business relationships I had, and made connections with old ones and new ones. So, successful thing. But all week long, the conference was Tuesday to Friday. I got there Wednesday morning. All week long, all I could think about was Saturday. So, Saturday, I had to do a podcast. So, I was worried about it all week long because it's going to be on the internet forever, you know? And this time specifically, these guys were like, we want to have you back on, and we just want you to talk about whatever the spiritual shit you talk about. So imagine the stuff I talk about here. Now other people are going to know I talk about that. or I'm interested in that, whatever that is, right? Which is a big deal, I guess, but I just thought like whatever I'm supposed to say will just come out. Like why freak out about it? Um, and I haven't seen it. The parts that I played in my head, I didn't say anything that I wanted to say, and I didn't clarify anything I wanted to clarify. Imagine I've been journaling an hour a week for a year, or two. I don't know how long it's been. It's an interesting experiment, but um, how do you condense that into a podcast? Like I need to do a series, but then like none of my thoughts are organized. It's just like a stream of, have you heard about this? Have you thought about this? Have you done this? Blah blah blah. This is what I was thinking. So on the podcast, I talked about everything from relationships, spirituality, psychology, maybe some history, some theology, but I just went wild basically, and I have no idea how that's going to come off. And the first half was supposed to be about car stuff, and I couldn't stay on. I don't care. I don't care about work. I don't care about cars. I don't care about money. I don't care about watches. I don't fucking care. So like you see me come alive when I'm talking about the stuff I want to talk about. And I realize like I need an outlet for it that's not this. And that's why when I'm like dating someone or almost in a relationship, like if I can't express myself and how I think and how I the things I've been through and whatever, if I'm silenced or not given the space to talk, I lose it. So this girl I was dating, um, who on paper was like everything I wanted in that manifestation journal, and who I thought if I had dated her 5 years ago, I would be like, wow, this I would have just on sight, like just hearing about what she does for a living and blah blah blah. I would have just been like, all right, well, I'll buy the like what cut do you want, kind of thing. She talked about like liking deep conversations and how like some executive flew in to go on a date with her and he snapped at the waitress and she got up and left. I was like, yes, you get it. See, like the type of person where what's rare these days is like when you are with someone and know that no famous person, no fucking, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that could take this person's attention away from me because we have it. You know what I mean? And if it's not that, I'm not really interested. If it doesn't feel like that, it's like no matter how attractive, no matter how whatever the fuck, like it'll never click for me. It needs to be, it needs to be real. It needs to feel like I'm supposed to be there. It needs to feel like it's divinely guided, inspired, whatever. And no matter how good the person looks on paper, like if it doesn't feel like like no matter what this girl said or did, I could not get interested in her. And the thing is that it was on site the first time I went to pick her up. It's like she's available for me. She wanted to cook for me. She wants like could have come to all my family events. Like immediately available to be my girlfriend. No, no mess, no strings, no X's, no like clean shit where you don't have to wipe. It's like, but there was no passion whatsoever, and I couldn't even imagine having sex with her. I could not imagine it. I had to think if we kissed actually. Um, I didn't want to do anything, and I had to like I like pulled back. I didn't really have to pull back because I was never in, but it's like someone willing to do everything that wasn't done for me in the past in any other relationship. But it's like I like that, just not from you. That would be great if you were a different person. And then I've never thought about her. Like I had to think like, oh shit, I should text her because she wants to hear from me, kind of thing. She was like, I'd love a good morning text and a good night text. That's like all I need to feel. And I was like, bitch, there's so many fucking rules here. You're asking too much. I'm out of here. And I had to like self analyze. Like, am I being fucking? Am I being avoidant? Is it because she's too available that and I was like, I'm just not attracted. It doesn't matter. She's just not my person. So nothing she can do to fix that. And I was like, how do I get out of this? Like, what do I do? Because I've had God damn it, I've had such a fucking weird life, and my inner thoughts and my revelations about the world, like, I need to be able to express that. And she says talking about that stuff zaps her energy. I was like, okay, so let's just stay at the surface then. Like, what she wanted to gaslight herself into having positive energy, positive this, positive that. I'm like, okay, if you don't know what is in the darkness, you don't know what light is. If you don't know what there is, then you don't know what's right, right? What the light is. Because light is also awareness and consciousness. Light is knowledge. Light is not just pretending there's no darkness. You know what I mean? So like she was obviously hit by. Is this obvious? She was hit by a car, almost killed. Which you have to imagine this is a life changing event. So while she's almost dying, she has a near death experience, which I'm like, tell me about it. And then she basically was like, yeah, God said like you can die and it's okay, and you can live and it's okay. I'm like, that's it. The fuck? How do I hear more from God without? That's all you got. It's fucking boring. One, and then two, it's like, don't even tell me. The fuck? Don't tell people that. That sucked. It's a shitty story. But while she's laid up in a hospital bed, her entire inventory for her business gets burned up in those natural fires in Los Angeles. And then fucking, she needs like new investment money. She doesn't have the money to make the shit again. So she's telling me how resilient she is and all this stuff. And I'm like listening, I'm like, wow, it's like, that's hard, whatever. trying to pay attention because I don't actually care. It felt like we had this conversation about in the Hermetica how it basically describes people without souls, and she fucking chat GPTs it to argue me. It's like, if you have to chat GPT it, don't respond to me. I don't want to talk to a fucking robot, bitch. I want to talk to you. Are you a human being? If I want to talk to the fucking computer, I ask the computer. But that's what I'm talking to fucking AI here. Like, she's walking around thinking she's spiritual and she's carries the light and all this shit. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, lady. In my eyes. And of course, I am right. Of course, there's no truth other than mine. So, so she, uh, she eventually, like, we hang out either one on one, and then it's like, I just don't like it. And then I'm busy fucking working and whatever the fuck I do. And then I don't know how to break it off. And I'm also gaslighting myself. Like, you better be sure. Because, like, this one's ready. I don't have to, like, train her how to be a good human being or whatever. She was sitting in my car and she was like, "This is amazing. I have a crush on you. You have a crush on me." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's what's happening." I so turned off, so turned off. Uh, I, yeah, I don't even know if I could do it drunk. Drunk me has different ideas. That's why we don't see him anymore. But um, she eventually breaks it off with me. Thank God. So she's like, "Hey, I've been with an avoidant before. It's tough. I will help you through it. I will like go through whatever, but like I need some consistency." And I was like, "No, no, no, it's okay." Just like she gave me the out, and I took it. And I was like, "Let's just be nice here." It's like, honestly, as friends, I probably wouldn't be so apprehensive or whatever. And she's like, "Actually, I'm going to take a step back because I don't want to be around someone who makes me dim my light." Bitch, that's how I feel. Uh, absolutely. Okay. Oh, okay. Honestly, fine with me. So, um, we saw each other at the gym. It looked like she came with a guy, actually, but she knows everybody, so I can't actually be sure. But I saw her at the gym the same week, and then and fucking then I don't say hi to her. Like, one, I was doing my own thing, but then I got stuck talking to other people, and then like I was at the gym for 2 hours for no reason. So then I'm like leaving. She's upset. She texts me like, "Hey, you can still say hi. Like, no weird feelings or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, you too. I don't care." Um, and then a week passes or two, and she texts me, and I'm like, "Oh, how can I help you?" And she's like, "Hey, asked my friends, and they said no. But some flowers showed up at my house. Was it you? And I was like, wouldn't it be weird for me? You said you want space. Now I'm sending you flowers, you think? Um, and she's like, it wouldn't have been weird. I would have thought it was thoughtful. And I told one of my friends, and they're like, "Well, she made that up." I was like, okay, I don't. I mean, whether she did or not, I don't care. I was like, yeah, happy birthday. Anyways, good luck. And then later that week, I think I'm like in the shower. I come out and I have a missed call and a text that says I have an emergency. I'm like, what's up? And she's like, hey, the last time when we were talking, she said she got funding to restart her business. And then she says, hey, the place that's storing my like product is closing its doors, so I need a new place. I was like, okay, so what do you need? Well, I need to put pallets. They're like 10 pallets. It's about this size, whatever the fuck. I was like, you didn't like, not that I care. I was like, you didn't want to be friends, but you're happy to like use me for space. I was like, how long do you need a place to hold these things? Because she's essentially asking me to, if I could store it, and she's like, well, I have to sell them. So just open ended. You're just gonna fucking use me for. How about you take that step back and then keep going off a cliff? The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch. Um, Now here's the spiritual part, and this is why there's an incongruity, and it's not anything personal against her, but this is why it's like a fuck no for me. So obviously, if I talked about spirituality and it went in a direction she didn't like, she just shut me down. But I was like, have you heard of Wu Wei, like the path of no resistance or least resistance? And she's like, no, I haven't. I was like, okay, well, basically, like when life is giving you resistance, it means like your path is somewhere else and you're supposed to follow that. And I was like, trying to prompt her to think about it. I was like, if God, who you said you met, was telling you to not do this, how would it look different than what's happening to you? You get hit by a fucking car, almost die. Your shit burns up. You're fighting tooth and nail to go down the same fucking path. As soon as you open your eyes, you're like, I'm going exactly where that car hit me. And then in the time that we're not talking, then the place that stores your shit is closing its doors. When I started in my industry, every day someone was trying, like something, someone. I had every roadblock, blah blah blah. Like, but it was all different challenges that made me better at it. I became more proficient at my job from having those challenges early and overcoming them. And I don't know, in her case, frankly, if it's like what I went through or if it's a different thing. But I know. I think it's clear. I mean, anytime you almost die, you got to be like, all right, hold on. All right, hold on. Let me think. And this is the type of humility you gain after being humbled by God. Because until you understand until you understand how the pain is meant to redirect you, you're going to stay in the victim mentality. You're going to think that the world is unfair. You're going to be taking it out on other people. You're going to be a cunt. So, despite near death experience, meeting God, I would I would venture to guess I'm closer to understanding whatever is divine. Because I'm not telling God how it works or what I want. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Is this correct? Is this the right path? No, we're done with it forever. At least that's what I think I'm doing. Like, I pay attention when there's resistance. At the very least, I'm listening to the universe all the time, like Santiago and the Alchemist. I'm listening. You tell me. We on the right path or a nay? Yay or nay? So, so, thankfully, I haven't heard from her, so I hope that shit's over. I haven't run into her either, but on the other hand, met someone who was spiritually aligned and was dating. And I would say the most spiritually aligned person because we kind of thoughts of the same. And it felt so nice to be one understood, two seen, three treated well for once, for fuck's sake. Um, Someone seeing my value and not my value as in like the material shit I provide, but like here and here. Like knows that I'm a rare person. And it's a hard thing to give up, but it was like and gorgeous. Fuck. Like I'm definitely fortunate to be able to date women that are out of my fucking caliber here, but it's interesting that it's like no matter what direction that was like I'll be settling. And weirdly, as much as you know, I don't want to repeat past trauma and stuff like that, but like, when you're attracted to someone and it's because it's going to be toxic, even though it's toxic, even though that's terrible, like there's a lesson there and you're attracted to someone who's going to get you to the next phase. And if someone can't teach you something, it's like, why are we here? If I can still be hurt, that means there's still work to do. If I still don't understand something in my shadow and I'm attracted to the wrong thing, it means there's something I have left to uncover. And I was like, maybe I need to uncover that thing still. And then I had to think about this like, if I uncover the thing, if I think really hard, will I all of a sudden be in love with this girl who's right in front of me? What do you think? The answer is no. I was thinking like, is it the wrong time and blah blah blah. I just wasn't into it. The spiritually aligned one was much harder to get to like because I feel so comfortable. It's like being in an oasis when you're lost in the desert. It's like, oh, well, I know it's gonna be a long time till it's fucking have water again. Like you really got to fuel up, and it's so nice to be there, and it's so nice to hear that. Like, oh, do you know the tunnels under the Denver airport? I'm like, I fucking love you. Tell me more. Yes, I've heard of it. I don't know if it's a real thing, but I'm sure there's underground bases everywhere. Anyways, um, Dulce. What the fuck was that guy's name? His name was Phil Schneider. Have fun googling that. Dulce Air Force Base. So, um, Mercury's in Gatorade or whatever the fuck. So, I was driving yesterday, and I started feeling this feeling here and here. And the feeling was anxiousness. And I texted one of my friends, was like, I feel like something's about to happen. Like like I'm gonna run into someone kind of thing. And it's interesting that I had that feeling. And that feeling is the same feeling like, when you break up with someone and then find out they're dating someone. And there's just this pain. I remember when I was dating my high school girlfriend. We were on and off forever. And we're friends now, but it was familiar and comfortable, but clear that it couldn't be permanent. Everything I have in life came from me leaving her or whatever. And she didn't she just couldn't go where I'm going. You know what I mean? And I put my life on hold long enough to satiate, like to try and make someone happy who's just committed to being unhappy. Sound familiar? So no matter what piece of myself I gave up, it was never enough to fill the void in the person. The person has to fill their own void and then find the fucking will to live and fucking want what's best for them, whatever. If I have to convince you not to take pharmaceuticals and not to smoke and not to drink, it's like you are not a good match for me or a good mother to my kids. If I, as a man, can refrain from doing those things and I'm not fucking the house of a fucking child, it's the least you could do. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to work. I don't care if you're educated. I care what's here, what's here. It's like, I will do all the heavy lifting just to be a good person. Just be dependable. Fucking love me. That's all I need. Why the fuck? This is the temple of God. My body specifically, not yours. You're gross. But, like, what the fuck are you doing? Spitting God's face like that. I don't appreciate it. How do you think God feels? You fuck. So, like, everything you consume, everything you consume, everything you consume, everything you consume. What is going on in here is going to happen to that fucking kid. A woman that can't control her emotions and fucking, like, that's directly, ask me how I know. Fucking through the umbilical cord, you're getting fucking downloaded like the Matrix. Like, fuck, it's going to suck out there. You're punishing this fucking kid for the rest of their life, you selfish cunt. Very hard to get over this shit. Very hard. To the extent that I've never met anyone other than me who's doing it. And yes, I'm patting myself on the back. It's been fucking difficult. So, anyways, so that ex, what had happened was she was always sabotaging the relationship. She never felt like she deserved me, and she made sure that was true. I didn't need much. I didn't have enough self respect to want more for myself. So I put up with a lot. I made a lot of exceptions. sound familiar also? And then eventually she was like publicly embarrassing me and making scenes, and she wanted to date someone else, so she needed to make it my fault that we broke up. And then eventually, like, you know, we had both broken up and both been with other people many times. But this time, when we broke up, it didn't hurt initially because I was used to it. And then I heard that she was with someone. And this has actually happened many times. She actually sucked. And I was so sad. And I was so distraught. I remember texting my friends about it. And I was like moping around. I remember going to a gas station, and everyone who passed me was like it looked like I just saw a murder or something. I shouldn't have gone outside. Like it was scaring people just by how I looked. And that pain, like they say it in Kabbalah. I don't want to refer to Kabbalah as the fucking end all be all truth, but it's like in order to have or hold light, you have to experience equal dark. So this pain that we go through, whether it's a breakup or losing a job or blah 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 blah, is meant for us to hold greater light. So for me to earn something better, I have to go through something worse. It's like the pendulum swings both ways. So I mean, I was fucking way on that side, and it's everything I have now could have only happened with her out of my life. Because now my energy isn't going to like, are you okay? How can I fucking just sit on the floor with you and feel bad for ourselves? How do like, my energy was going eventually, because it wasn't moving right away. Eventually, it had to go towards making my life into something. She's very sick now, in pain, and I suppose could die. And I offered to pay for her fertility treatment so she could freeze her eggs. Um, and she's like, "No, I don't want you to do that." It's like, I don't even know if I want to be a mom. I was like, that's all you wanted to do. Like, do you know why your body's dying? Because you're not doing anything. Like spiritually speaking, if you just exist, you don't have a purpose. You made like you're only on this planet for so long. You made a contract. I'm gonna do this, and then you don't do it. You get hit by a car. You get cancer. You know what I mean? Like there's a spiritual reason behind everything. Not everything's like nothing's random. Not everything. Nothing's random. So why is this happening? What are we doing wrong? And it doesn't matter if I tell her about fasting, changing your diet, this or that. Oh, that's interesting. She wants to die. She always did. It's like, all right, go die, fine. It's like you just want people to feel sorry for you. It's like it's a waste of time. You're gonna spend your whole life waiting for sympathy from people. It's like fucking grow up. Nobody cares. Eventually, we all take our turn and get in the ground. Eventually, no one's gonna remember who the fuck you were. So what are you doing while you're here? Just gonna watch fucking Charmed? How many times can you watch that shit? And the opposite's true too. Like just pursuing material things is this, it's doing the same thing in my opinion. Just the pursuit of material things, and of course you don't know until you get there. But you're committing the same sin, and then bad things happen to you, and you say why it's so unfair. Why me? It's because you're stupid. I was like you. So did I talk about everything I want to talk about with the ex? Oh, so like I talked about the feeling of like I was so visibly distraught, right? So for whatever reason, I'm driving yesterday. They start feeling old emotions, which like they only came up in toxic relationships or whatever. And it was like this old feeling that used to paralyze me. Now I was excited to feel, and not in the way it's like I cut myself just to feel something. It wasn't like that. It was like, oh, something good's gonna happen. It almost felt like my radar is picking something up. So it was, and it's interesting timing. Interesting timing. That's all I'll say about that. My intuition is something, buddy. All right, so like I don't know what the fuck comes next. I'm connected more than most people, but not in the sense like, well, like I had a dreamish type thing where after I recorded the podcast, which is the longest podcast they've ever done, I was like, fuck, I didn't say that properly, or I was joking about this and people will think that, and blah, blah, blah. And then as my thoughts were racing, lying in bed, I don't remember what the dream was or the situation, but I heard, or yeah, I guess heard the word words, La Cruesa. And I was like in a half, like sedated sleep. And I was like, I should remember that for later. And I was like, no, remember it now because you're not going to remember. That's how I talk to myself in my head. You are not going to remember. So I like type it in. And I texted someone actually. I was like, La Cruesa. They didn't ask what it was, which is nice. But I was like, it sounds Latin. It's not Latin. It's Latin based, probably. La. Uh, and then in Catalan, which is like a cousin of Spanish, it means the rawness. So where the fuck did that come from? And I do think that like if regardless if you believe any of this shit that I say or learn, you cannot argue that I was genuine and raw. And when I look at spiritual people like David Yum, now I think I've been observing you, motherfucker. Why are you co-parenting? What happened there? Because I feel like you cheated. Maybe that's not fair, but that's the feeling I get. It looks like she's mad at you, not the other way around. And now fame seems to kind of be getting to you. Do you know why I think that is? I paid a lot of money for his seminar, And at the bottom, it was like, you can have dinner with this motherfucker for 50 grand. Bitch, what? And Mr. Guillaume, have you thought that the people that might need you the most aren't people who can afford $50,000 dinners? You are not being an alchemist right now, sir. You are being Jewish, though. He's far more Jewish than he's Persian, apparently. Doesn't speak, I mean, he's got a lot of Persian Jew friends. He wasn't interested in being my friend, which I'm not upset about. But I'm very observant. And when someone stands in front of people and says, this is how it works, like, I realize that he's just regurgitating information, but it's like, why are you living like, why does your life look like this? Why are you co parenting instead of being the parent? Why does your girlfriend dress like a man? I really think it's this the LA fashion shit where like the women are wearing sport coats. It's like you look like you stole that off a homeless person and sprayed perfume on it. Like if you have to have a uniform before you come outside, I have to look like this. I have to act like this. And then now when I see clips of him, he's like, the sages say that when you are mad at someone, you're gay. Like this is not the tone and cadence and the like. This is not how. Is this how you talk to your parents? Is this how you talk to like your family members? You start fucking rocking like this. Now you are playing the game of I am the spiritual guru, and I have to wear the spiritual guru mask, and this is what it looks like, and that feels inauthentic, and it makes me question a lot of things that he says. The things that Kabbalah says I so far it's like 90%, 90 in the 90s. Um, but I feel like, especially these days, there's a lot of people who are religious or spiritual gurus who are part of this dystopian nightmare that's coming, you know, this disconnecting you from God thing and giving you spirituality as like a way to numb yourself and not actually do what you need to do. There's psychological work to do, and I don't hear him talking about that at all. It's just like learning the rules to the game, but it's like if it's a spiritual world rather than just act. It's like we came here for a reason. What's the there's like a deeper thing to it, no? Because if I were David Guillaume, maybe like I don't want to fucking have dinner with anybody, so I'll charge 100 grand, but I'll have a lotto ticket, a random person, write in and say why you need to talk to the guru, and then I would have them sit and possibly learn from the fucking rich assholes or me if I had anything to teach people. You can still have your cake and eat it too. You don't have to be full on Jewish about it. So, fucking. He's released AI, David AI. So it speaks 15 languages fluently. And you can ask his AI a question and it will just answer you basically how Kabbalah works, or whatever. And I have a big problem with that. Whose team are you on, sir? Is this a way to make money? Yeah, for sure. To get awareness about Kabbalah and you, but you're disconnecting people from people, and you're disconnecting people from God. I suppose you can argue that it is teaching people the rules on how to get in touch with God, but I'm not convinced that's what his intention is. You know? Not convinced. Not convinced. So, anywho's, um, I talked to someone on the phone today, and he was saying that he's his the company he works for has been absorbed by another. He's going to see what happens, and he might move and whatever. And then we started talking about the stuff I like to talk about. I shoehorn it in anywhere I can. And then he was asking me for book recommendations. He was asking me, how does this work? What do you think's happening here? And I love that. And it's interesting. Everyone's kind of dealing with the same stuff. And he said he's felt empty for a long time. So he's been numbing himself. That's what everybody does. You feel empty here, so you just fill it. Or fill it or whatever. You're filling it however you can. With people, with material things, with whatever. And it's like, that hole's still going to be there, asshole. It's like you're a shark. As soon as you stop swimming, you drown. Like, fucking take a second. Relax. And instead of talking, listen. Not to me. To the universe you live in that's been trying to get your attention. And basically, what I told him is that the purpose of life here is to do psychological development. Your spiritual journey is your psychological development. Because our parents' trauma is our trauma. What they didn't resolve, we have. What their parents did to them, same thing. So we're resolving generations of trauma. Even if you had the perfect childhood, even if you had the perfect parents, there's still some unsaid thing, and then you've absorbed this through your DNA. Your grandfather beat your dad, but your dad was like, I will never beat my kids. But you still have the feeling like you were beaten because your dad, even though he didn't do that to you, he has the trauma. And it manifested in other ways. You absorbed it. So even though you weren't raped, but your parent was or your grandparent was, that trauma has come down to you. And you have this tendency to show up in the world a certain way, to react to the world a certain way. I did that in front of someone and they jumped. It's like you are redlining all the time. Your nervous system is fucking on fire. And no matter how loud you turn the volume to distract yourself, you have work to do there to calm this shit down. And nothing in your physical life will ever accomplish that. Purely psychological, purely spiritual, purely only not willing to take notes. Fuck you. No notes. Don't at me. You have to do it. And if you don't, infinite retries. You think there's like a permanent hell? That God made you in his image and he loves you, but you said Jesus with some stank on it and now you're in hell forever? It was a huge pumpkin. Was I not going to say anything? So try to distract yourself. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Live your whole life running from whatever the fuck. You'll be reincarnated in the same fucking situation. Why do you think there's so much suffering in this world? All people who died without doing the work and have to repeat the level. That's where we are. Some sort of purgatory or some shit. How else do you explain all the demons and the Jews? It'd be funny if I try to become famous later and then someone clips that. And the Jews will be upset. But they won't say I'm wrong. You can be upset. I don't care. You can't even cancel me. My best friend's Jewish and my business partner's Jewish. You're gonna cancel me? You're taking out a Jew, an innocent Jew, which is rare. I was thinking of like doing stand up and then just going hard on the Jews, um, just to see if I could get canceled or to see if I'd care about it. Um, of course, the truth is I don't hate anybody. Like I love all human beings, even things that I don't think are human. Honestly, not to say that's the Jews, but honestly, God, I love people, and I keep my distance because otherwise, I humans do what humans do. But I feel for everybody, truly, too much, I think. And I use the humor to mask it. And I also feel like this is what I know. This is what I know. Signed, sealed, delivered. We are being we are being brainwashed into hating the Jews again. And although there are certain people who are acting in bad faith in the world, who are very vocally Jewish, those people have a plan to sacrifice Jews, it seems. What I mean by that is cause a problem under a flag, many problems. And then they're pulling the pendulum this way and expecting a reaction of, let's get rid of the Jews, which, if you look at history, it happens every 100 years or so for thousands of years now. So fuck me for noticing a pattern, right? So, and here's the thing is that Ben and Jerry Jews that are like vocally like, hey, there's no excuse to kill innocent children, regardless if they're Jewish or Palestinian. It's like, spiritually speaking, if you get me to condone the killing of another human being, I'm taking some of the karma of that. So they want you to, they've already done it. There's a lot of Jews in Israel that have, they don't see Palestinians as human. That's why they can take their houses and spit on them in the street. Not everybody. In fact, I never met one of those any of the times that I went to Israel. But doesn't mean it's not happening. So when the reaction to a human acting like a demon is now the other side acting like a demon, we're just on the hamster wheel spinning, like it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Someone has to realize what's happening and be like, hey, There's no excuse to kill another human being. You cannot tell me there is. I don't care what you said happened to you. I will not sanction or pay for you to kill anyone else in revenge. Not just civilians, even the people you say are hurting you, because sure, arrest, isolate, imprison if you're very confident that they did the thing. And I'm not convinced. But God, He's more powerful than Thanos, right? When we get revenge, we're interfering with God's plan. And that's why when you want someone to suffer, you're often the one who suffers. Spiritually speaking, this is my spiritual mumbo jumbo, what I've learned. When someone fucking wronged me and I wanted to fucking wanted revenge, but I'm not the type of person to enact revenge. Once I let go, God's plan became clear. God did it better than I could. And then my conscience is clear. My conscience is clear. And I can move on from here. But I wish I could say the same for you, bitch. It's a song by Uncle Sam that came out when I was in high school. Uncle Sam and Boyz II Men, I think. Should add that to my high school playlist. All right, so and my R&B playlist. So, anyways, we're being fucking. You see, like, to me, this is boring. Say something else is the economy's going to crash next year. Cash is going to be worthless. And look at the confidence I have saying that. I'm fucking. I don't care. I don't care. Take everything. I don't care. Should I buy fucking. Who cares? God will take care of me. I ain't worried. I can lose everything. I'll start over. I've done it before. You know what I mean? I'm not worried. God is more powerful than this fucking clown show. Do you realize what has to happen to a person to have that confidence? Nothing you can do to me. When I go to sleep, it's the only time I really try to talk to God. Because, like, during the day when I'm just doing life stuff, I have to ignore everything I know to survive and function. I have to forget everything that's happened to me. Everything that I know spiritually, I have to pretend doesn't exist. And so it goes in both directions. Can't have the light without the darkness, right? So it's only when the rest of the world is quiet and I sit there and I usually thank God. I thank God for my lessons. I always say that. Thank you, God, for my lessons. And I thank God for teaching me. And I thank God for protecting me. But I always feel like I'm waiting for a sign or message or like a big flashing light of like, come this way. Talk to this person. Do this for me. I'm ready and willing to give up everything I have in this life to do whatever it is that God needs me to do, you know? Whatever that is. But I don't know what it is. So in the meantime, I'm spending money like fucking crazy. Um, it'll be worthless soon, anyways. But To me, it really feels like a video game here. It feels like a video game. It's just like my Gran Turismo. It's like I'm 98% done. There's like two tracks I have left to get gold in. These challenges, I've done everything completely. And it's like I on purpose don't want to finish it. I on purpose don't want it to be done because then I'm not interested in playing anymore. Or I'll never pick it up again. And I want to still have it. And that's what I feel like I'm doing with this identity, whoever I am, whatever I am. It's like I feel completely done with this world. I feel completely done with the illusions, but I'm still hanging on to see what happens. That's what it feels like. So it's a weird place to be. I met a girl who's like really into conspiracies and stuff when I'm like, yeah, you're on the right track, but be careful not to hate people because of this and this is what's happening. Well, and she, after digesting it and being like, oh fuck, like, is it really that bad? She looked at me, she's like, you're really smart, but like, how do you function? I was like, I know. And I use this analogy on the podcast is that I feel lost in space. Like I'm waiting for someone to build a spaceship to come get me. It's like, where are the other people like me? Where are the other people who get it? Where are the other people who have done the work? Where or doing the work? You don't have to be exactly where I am, but you, at least if you're on the path, you know. People are, I mean, rightfully so. People are afraid to give up their illusions, and I'm not going to pretend it was easy for me. I'm more stubborn than most. It wasn't easy at all, but it was necessary. So I feel like I'm the first butterfly to come out of the cocoon, and I'm waiting for my friends to fucking do it too. So then we can frolic together. Do butterflies frolic? I don't know what they do. They don't fly in a straight line, they're kind of gay. So I wonder, I used to have like the thought of being with my person and like being in bed talking and giggling and talking about the universe or the things that we learned or you know what I mean? And short of that, it's like you're gonna put gravy on your printing paper and eat that. That's what it feels like. It's like I need the deepness. I require the depth. And everyone's too afraid to do the work, to give up their illusions, to give up the cycles, to give up the identity, the pain identity that the ego is holding on to. So, I guess we'll see what happens. I suppose I don't need a wife and kids in this world, you know. Um, I did my due diligence as someone who can see and experience the spiritual world of knowing the nature of it so I can best protect myself and my future family, should I have one. And put my life in danger readily to get those answers because that's what it requires for you to know. For you to know, not have belief, but know. So, I just need one other person to wake up from the dream, and then I can build a new world. That's not fake and gay. 111 is a good time to end, right? Or begin. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope whatever you're going through is, if it's tough, that it's fruitful. And hopefully, I see you soon. Sayonara.